On this episode of my exploration of South African wines, I visited the Wellington region, which supplies over 85% of South African wine industry with cartons. It also boasts some 26 wine producers ranging from historical estates to boutique wineries. In Wellington, we visited Linton Park. We visited the wine estate to taste the Bridge of Hope wines, a brand created for Rosemary Mosiah by Linton Park. It comes in three ranges, namely the Classic Collection, the Premium Collection, and the Reserve Collection.
The first two wines we're going to taste is the Bridge of Hope Classic Chenin Blanc and then the Classic Sauvignon Blanc. So both of them easy drinking, lifestyle wines. The cultivar that is planted the most in the Wellington area is Chenin Blanc, but it's only 11%, so you can't really say that we focus on Chenin Blanc, but the quality of Chenin Blanc that's coming from this area is quite well. Okay. Then the second one we're going to taste is the Sauvignon Blanc, entry-level Sauvignon Blanc. Very interesting. Wellington is known as a warm region area, so you don't normally get a nice Sauvignon Blanc from a warm region area, but because we are situated so high up, our highest vineyard is 514 meters above sea level, and that is actually our Sauvignon Blanc vineyard. So it's a really, the climate there is much different than here, and even here it's cooler than in town itself. So it's more than a cool area Sauvignon Blanc than a warm area Sauvignon Blanc. So lots of fruits on the nose and palate as well. The classic Pinotage, which is the unwooded one, 100% Pinotage, just only in stainless steel tanks, no wood barrels. You can even see in the color it's very light. So yeah.
We then headed to Wellington Wines, a customer-driven producing seller delivering in bulk and bottle formats. Wellington Wines is the result of the joining of forces of three different entities, namely Wamakavlikli, forgive me for that, Wellington Cellar, and Bovley Winery.
We have three tiers. One is the imprint, which we're going to be doing at the end. It's a sparkling, sweetest wine. And then we have the Duke, which is a more easier drinking range. The rest is made to be drunk now, or you can enjoy it within 5 to 7 years. And with the La Cave, it's our ultra premium range, made to be aged for 15 to 20 years. So I'm going to start with the first one to your left, is the Sauvignon Blanc, and then the Chenin Blanc, and then the White Pinotage. We are currently on the 2019 vintages. And Wellington is quite a hot area, so our whites as well as our reds tend to be more fruity as opposed to your typical Sauvignon Blancs, which I'm just going to be using as an example, which you get from the coastal areas, which is greener and more thin.
We ended our experience in Wellington with a visit to Thokozani. Thokozani means celebration, and we experienced it when we visited the estate and got welcomed with music by a choir comprising workers.
Story that we are shareholders in the business, and we've run this business now over 16 years, and myself is the majority shareholder in the business. So in this company we don't only have one, we also have our guest house, which is a 4-star guest house that we would have loved you to come and stay, but there's always a next time. So today we want to engage you with some music. I always feel like these guys coming in, it's all our general laborers on the farm. So for us, it's not just only about the wine and about the food, it's about the experience. So So while they're working in the vineyards, they're also coming to sing here, up here, and then entertain our people. So you are not going to sit down, you're going to have a little jigga jigga and some dance. Exactly. And Africa's got the beat. Okay?
Stay beside me, stay beside me. Say you never leave me. How I love you, how I love you, how I need you, please believe me. In your arms I found my heaven. And your love step down the path. You want know. Your love is all I need, my world. That tender kiss of me, my.
So the first step of wine tasting, it's its appearance. So when we look at the appearance, we look how old the wine is. And we also look at the quality of the wine. Now normally when you tilt the glass, you need to have a white background. You can even take the white Sauvignon. Yeah. And when you tilt this 45 degrees, then you will see that this one got a green tingle. Now what green means that your wine is very young. And when your wine's getting yellower, it means your wine is older. Yeah. So, and then you can also look for the quality of the wine. You can see that this wine is clear and bright. And that's an indication of good quality wine, okay? So when we nose the wine, we normally swirl the glass and then all the lovely aromas are coming out. Now on this wine, you can get pineapple, lychee, pawpaw, a lot of tropical characteristics.
We ended the day with a visit to Murati Wine Estate, which is nestled within the Nuhok Valley north of Stellenbosch. The estate is a time capsule of fables, fairy tales and rich South African wine history, which has been well preserved by the current custodians of the estate under the guidance of Regic Melk.
My name is Desmond Binneman. I'm from Murati Wine Estate here in beautiful Stellenbosch, South Africa. And we're here on this property, which was one of the oldest estates in South Africa, started in 1685. And we predominantly focus on red wine, 85% of that. And the farm itself is about 45 hectare under vine and about between 220 and 300 meters above sea level. We focus today harvest. We did a lot of Shiraz grapes, but our biggest focus is Cabernet Sauvignon. This is Cab country. And we do our flagship wine, the Ancella van de Kaap, and the flagship white is Lawrence Comfort. The soil here is specifically good for Cabernet Sauvignon and the Bordeaux variety, so Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and that's why we focus on what Mother Nature and the earth and the soil is telling us to plant, and we don't chase the fads and in any fashion. So we focus on what the nature tells us we can grow for a long term and also brings out high quality. So Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot is probably one of our biggest focus. And then lower down, the soil changes slightly closer to the river, and that's better for the aromatic kind of grapes. So Chardonnay and Shiraz. And in South Africa, we eat a lot of meats on the fire. So that smoky, spicy character goes fantastic with Shiraz. Each year, we don't want to make the same wine as the previous year. So we want to give a image or a picture of what happened this year that's different from the previous year, and by that increasing the quality as well. So if this year was a very wet or very sunny year, that's the expression that the grapes will give, and that's what the winemaker will accentuate. And for us, definitely quality over quantity, because it's a family driven estate, and with family values, we basically focus on those.
Murati Wine is one of the oldest estates, and we just had to do a little more touring of history, the antique, the artwork, and everything that makes it such a wonderful place to visit. And of course, it was also a place of choice for dinner, and unfortunately I cannot show you that. But stay tuned, we will be back with more amazing and delightful experiences from South Africa.